Taehyung shows calm and sincere demeanor during BTS departure. At Incheon International Airport, where movement is constant and emotions are often fleeting, a quiet sense of warmth lingered as BTS prepared to depart for Dubai. Amid the cameras, the hushed excitement of fans, and the careful choreography of airport security, Taehyung stood out, not through dramatic gestures or grand expressions, but through a calm and sincere demeanor that resonated deeply with ARMY watching both in person and around the world. Taehyung's presence that afternoon felt grounded. As the group moved through the terminal, his posture was relaxed yet attentive, his expressions soft, his movements unhurried. While airport departures can feel routine, this one carried a distinct emotional undercurrent. Fans had gathered not merely to witness travel logistics, but to feel connected, if only for a moment, to the artists they admire. Taehyung seemed to understand that instinctively. When he acknowledged the crowd, it was with a gentle wave and a subtle smile, gestures that felt less like obligation and more like genuine recognition. There was no rush to perform for the cameras, no attempt to dominate attention. Instead, Taehyung's calmness became the focal point. In a space filled with noise and motion, he offered stillness, and that stillness spoke volumes. For ARMY, these moments matter. They are small, easily overlooked by those outside the fandom, but they carry emotional significance that extends far beyond the airport walls. Taehyung's demeanor conveyed reassurance. It suggested mindfulness, respect, and a quiet gratitude that needed no explanation. Fans online quickly described feeling comforted, noting how his energy seemed to soften the atmosphere. Social media responded almost instantly. Clips and photos of Taehyung circulated widely, accompanied by captions highlighting his sincerity and composure. Fans praised the way he carried himself, pointing out that even without words he managed to communicate warmth. Many remarked that his calm presence felt like a gentle farewell, one that acknowledged both those present and those watching from afar. This reaction was not surprising to longtime followers. Taehyung has long been known for his thoughtful nature and emotional awareness. Over the years, he has shown an ability to connect deeply with fans, often through subtle gestures rather than overt displays. At Incheon, that quality was evident once again. His actions were understated, but their impact was undeniable. The contrast between Taehyung's quiet demeanor and the bustling environment around him made the moment even more striking. Airports are transitional spaces, defined by urgency and impermanence, yet Taehyung seemed to slow time, even briefly, by choosing presence over performance. It was a reminder that sincerity does not require spectacle. Industry observers often note how BTS members maintain a balance between global stardom and personal authenticity. Taehyung's behavior during the departure exemplified that balance. Despite being one of the most recognizable figures in the world, he remained approachable, composed, and respectful. This consistency is part of what sustains BTS's enduring relationship with their fans. For fans in attendance, the moment felt intimate despite the distance. A wave, a glance, a soft smile, these gestures became shared memories treasured precisely because they were simple. For international fans watching through screens, the experience was no less meaningful. Many expressed feeling included, as if Taehyung's acknowledgement extended beyond the physical space of the airport. As BTS continued toward their overseas schedule, anticipation naturally shifted to what awaited them in Dubai. Yet for many ARMY, the emotional highlight had already occurred. Taehyung's calm and sincere demeanor served as a reminder that connection does not always arrive through grand announcements or performances. Sometimes it arrives quietly through authenticity. In the days that followed, fans continued to reflect on the moment. Discussions focused not on fashion or speculation but on feeling. Taehyung's presence had created a sense of calm that lingered, offering comfort and reassurance. It was a testament to the power of subtlety in an industry often defined by excess. Ultimately, Taehyung's behavior at Incheon International Airport reaffirmed why he remains so deeply admired. Not only for his artistry but for his character. In choosing calmness and sincerity, he turned a routine departure into a meaningful exchange, one that ARMY will remember long after the flight to Dubai had landed. As conversations around the departure continued, many fans began to view Taehyung's calm demeanor as a reflection of the emotional stability he has cultivated over the years. Once known for his playful unpredictability and expressive personality, he has gradually revealed a quieter side, one that feels thoughtful, reflective, and deeply aware of the impact even the smallest actions can have on others. At the airport, that awareness seemed fully present. Fans noted how Taehyung often took brief moments to look around, as if consciously acknowledging the environment rather than simply passing through it. Those seconds mattered. In an industry where schedules are tight and appearances are fleeting, choosing to be present can feel like a luxury. Taehyung's composed pace suggested intention, a deliberate choice to move with care rather than haste. The emotional response from ARMY highlighted something essential about BTS's connection with their fans. It is not sustained solely through music releases or large-scale events, but through trust built over time. Taehyung's sincerity reinforced that trust. Fans spoke about feeling respected not as spectators, but as people whose support is genuinely valued. That feeling lingered long after the airport had emptied. Media coverage began to frame the moment as another example of BTS's emotional intelligence as a group. While each member expresses gratitude differently, Taehyung's approach stood out for its softness. In contrast to louder expressions of affection, his quiet warmth felt deeply personal. It was not directed at one camera or one crowd, but radiated outward in a way that felt inclusive. For many international fans, cultural context added depth to the moment. In Korean culture, politeness and composure carry significant meaning, especially in public settings. Taehyung's behavior reflected those values naturally without exaggeration. For fans unfamiliar with that context, the sincerity was still unmistakable. Respect, after all, is a universal language. As BTS continues to navigate global attention, moments like this serve as reminders of why the group's influence extends beyond entertainment. Taehyung's calm presence demonstrated that leadership and impact do not always come from being the loudest or most visible. Sometimes, they come from consistency, kindness, and the courage to remain oneself under constant scrutiny. In the end, Taehyung did not need to say anything to leave an impression. His calm and sincere demeanor spoke clearly enough. In a place designed for departures, he offered something that stayed behind, a feeling of warmth, reassurance, and quiet connection that ARMY will carry forward as BTS continues their journey. That sense of warmth continued to echo through fan communities as the hours passed. What began as a brief airport moment slowly transformed into a shared reflection on Taehyung's growth, not only as an artist but as a person living under the weight of global attention. Fans revisited older clips and memories, noticing how his calmness now feels different from before, less guarded, more assured, as if he has found a quiet balance within himself. Many ARMY described Taehyung's demeanor as grounding. In a world that often feels overwhelming, watching someone move gently and sincerely through a hectic space brought unexpected comfort. It reminded fans that success does not have to erase softness and that composure can coexist with immense fame. Taehyung's presence at the airport became a subtle example of that truth. Some fans also reflected on how Taehyung's calm energy complemented the rest of the group during the departure. BTS moved together as they always do, yet each member carried their own emotional tone. Within that collective harmony, Taehyung's sincerity added balance. He did not compete for attention, nor did he fade into the background. He simply existed as himself, and that authenticity resonated deeply. Observers noted that Taehyung's approach felt especially meaningful because it appeared effortless. There was no visible tension, no forced smiles. His expressions were natural, his gestures unhurried. In an environment where public figures are often expected to maintain a constant performance, this lack of performance felt refreshing. Fans interpreted it as trust in ARMY and trust in himself. As discussions continued, some fans expressed that moments like these strengthen their long-term support more than any headline achievement. Awards, records, and milestones are celebrated, but they are fleeting. Quiet moments of sincerity, however, stay. Taehyung's calm farewell became one of those moments, cherished not because it was extraordinary but because it was real. The departure to Dubai marked another chapter in BTS's global journey, but for many ARMY, Taehyung's demeanor became the emotional takeaway. It reminded them why they connect so deeply with the group in the first place. Beyond music and visuals lies a shared sense of humanity, artists and fans meeting briefly in mutual respect.